in the battle for the first place of Group B, currently Complexity find themselves up 22-18 on Mirage, which means they have taken the first map. They have taken the first map of this series. Welcome back, everybody. This is the DreamHack Masters Spring 2020. We are in the European division, and we are still going strong here. Of course, we've got some more matchups for you, some more maps for you, but ultimately, we get to see the conclusion of Group B, which is what we all signed up for, which is why I brought in Jacob and Halvor to help me talk through this one. Guys, right off the top, this is a battle of BlameF versus Searson. Can you dispute that?
No, that was quite some game. It was going back and forth all the time, and I think both these rosters can be relatively happy with what performance they put up to this map. Of course, only one winner could it be, and that was Complexity. We'll talk about those turnarounds, and I think we have some clips to illustrate that as well.
Okay.
There was turning points in this game, you know, for both teams. Big obviously started out super well. Searson here with the AK-47 having a huge round, making it very tough for Complexity, and then that was followed up by Config going absolutely ham with the P250 to turn it around one more time. I don't know about you, Halvor, but it felt like to me that after that Config round, Complexity got that extra notch to them. They got the feeling that they could win this game, and eventually they ended up doing so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, Searson kind of set the tone for them, and a lot big to get into that first half. And then this is what actually salvages a lot of it for Complexity, the 3K from Config in what was, an eco round. That's definitely not something you pretty much expect to win out, but we saw also throughout the first half that Complexity were pretty set in their mind in terms of like stacking bomb set and so on. And what led up to that situation was a solid nade from BlameF, dropping pretty much 3 players down to roughly half HP, which again allows for Config to make it work on his flank. So again, overall, really solid play. To be honest, from both sides, I agree with what you said in the mid game or in game. I guess tactical breakdown with hints of indecision from Complexity. I think they kind of shored that up once we got into OT, and that's also why we got to see more players outside of Searson and BlameF necessarily running the show, because I think Config really came alive towards the end there.
Yeah, which is a good sign. It does bode very, very well for the Complexity side, even if they pick up the first map. But just to kind of go back a little bit, we're talking about these eco rounds, late game, that push us into overtime. Do you have any testament to that, fellas? Does that smell good if you're in the Complexity camp?
You gotta hate it, right? If you're Big Clan, you gotta hate it if you're on the receiving end. It's simple as that. I think Big Clan didn't play bad here, but again, we're seeing mistakes being made, and it was the same thing yesterday and the day before that. They are up 2-0 in this group, and they've been playing well so far in this tournament, but they still make a lot of mistakes. I feel Big Clan has another level in them if they can eliminate some of those mistakes, if they can get past them somehow. They're losing a lot of rounds, they're losing a lot of situations they shouldn't be losing. So despite that, they're still playing relatively well. If they can eliminate that, I think Big Clan can go up even higher in terms of the way they play.
Yes, and going higher is what we're going to do. Elevation is now coming into play. We're talking about Vertigo as the second map of the series. Complexity can close this out. They can top this group. Halvor, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I think Complexity definitely have a fair shot at it, but I don't think we should basically discount Big just yet. We saw it yesterday versus Mouseforce. They had a really rough OT loss to start off map 1, came back super strong to win out map 2 and bring it on to a third, and eventually close out the series. But yeah, no, I think this is Complexity's best opportunity to do it.
Yeah, right on the edge of it. And Jacob, does the door end here? Or excuse me, does the door close here even better? I don't know if it would end here, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close one. I'm a bit surprised Big went for the Vertigo pick. We saw Complexity play it well yesterday as well, so I think we got a 50-50 match on our hands. And yes, if I had to put my money, it's going to be Complexity.
Speaking of money, I got none of that. We're going to be going to a break. I also don't have any problems. So with that said, we'll be right back with the second map, Vertigo, on the cards, BRB. Welcome back to the DreamHack Masters Spring 2020, everybody, where I have actually kind of taken my socks off because things have gotten that dirty around here. I want to make sure that I'm trampling over this little bit of water, but not alone. I've got Harry and Hugo here with me to try to lock in who's going to topple this group. What did you guys take away from this first map of playing this best of 3?
Well, man, Complexity, they've got the resilience. That much is kind of guaranteed,
Yep.
right? They were able to grind through multiple map points in favor of Big. They were able to get it over the line, and I think that's a good look, especially when you think about what Complexity were able to bring to the table yesterday on Vertigo.
Yeah.
With BlameF looking like he's having that same performance again, I think we're in for a bit of a treat here on this second map.
Yeah, I mean, I think Big are going to be a little bit better than Mousesports were on this map yesterday. So there's that to keep in the. Oh, sorry, the Mad Lions were rather to keep in mind, right? Mad Lions picked into that map against Complexity, knowing Cole can play it, and Mad Lions for them, they were 0-3 in that map coming into this year. So it's not like they had a lot to work with. It's not like, you know, they had the results there that showed they can play it. But Big, that's a very different case. They can play it. They have played it. They beat Mousesports on it yesterday. And I'm just going to echo my sentiment of worry when it comes to Big and that T side, right? You need good T sides on Vertigo. You need to get, 6, 7, 8 rounds, if not winning the half in a dominant fashion. So Big, they go 4 rounds against Mousesports in the first half. They do pull it back and win the game, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pull that off against Complexity if they have the same troubles.
Now, even though we are going into Vertigo, which is Big's pick, right? I mean, we're talking about some of the woes that they've had up to this point. With Complexity, it seems as though they have that resilience you're talking about. They have that little bit of a spark behind them. What do we think ignites something like that? Is it like Fig 4K, or is it Oboe, the NA ZipX, or whatever you want to call him, Harry?
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that in this Complexity squad, it feels like at any one time you have so many players who can step up and make a play, right? Like you've got Blameth, who's like this mad scientist IGL, right? Who's just like churning out all these ridiculous experiments, doing things that shouldn't be done by a man at the helm of the team. And then you've got players like, really, I think like Config and Oboe, who can just step up and make all the difference, Trace. So yeah, I think all it takes is like one of those rounds to come in, and Complexity, they just feel reinvigorated. They come out on top. They've been great at that.
Even if you move away from that, Trace, and you don't just look at like the star players and go like, oh yeah, this guy can bail them out like physically because he gets 3 or 4 kills. Someone like Rush, I think, is a great talking point inside of this team, and I think he's a really, really good fit. I'm glad we have him. He's not a star player by any means inside of this roster, but he brings such a level of experience and a major winner inside of this team. There's not many of them around, Trace, especially not in North America.
Yeah, and I want to leave you guys on a very interesting yet important focal point for you to kind of discuss and kind of nurture, if you will. Who is the original Rush? Is it Rush Lee or is it Will? Who is it? We're going to find out. We got to jump into this game. I'm going to let you two figure it out and have the final say so. Big going against Complexity, and it may be wrapped up here in 2.
Yes, indeed, Trace. And yeah, man, that other Rush Lee guy, the Observer one, he's not even like he's the 100,020. Oh, I can't even say it.
Where are you going with this?
123,456th Rush in line.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, he's not original. It's the guy who's just banking on Rush. I couldn't think how to say the words 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as like one number.
Just did him.
Yeah. Well, here's the Betway odds, and they're looking good right now for Complexity. They've shifted quite a ways since that victory back on the previous map, and in this round it's a fast play into the B bomb site. It's a bit back and forth. The nades have done good damage early on, and Config trying to hold down the line one by one. It is just the slaughterhouse at B.
Wow, that'll do, yeah. Complexity with a bit of a stack towards the B-bomb site, and Big just run the gauntlet into those USPs. Nice shots from Config and Blame, combining for 4. And just, no entry for Big. They get into the site, that's about it. That's all they get. They don't get much further. And the start of this T side, the Warriors already present themselves. Obviously, Searson, he looked excellent back on Mirage. He didn't really appear yesterday. Of course, Vertigo could just not be his map, but if he can channel what he just showed us in the previous map of the series and bring that into this one today, I think Big could have a lot more success on the T side of this map. And Orb can be very influential in holding down aggressive positions or taking picks towards the A side of things. If you have an Orb on ramp in an A post plant, few places where that can be rivaled. Izzy in the middle with a Deagle. Big are good at these forced rounds and not going to be winning that first fight at the very least. Config is low though, so he is teeter-totting on 10. Big going to move their way up towards A though with the remaining troops, 4 players in the site. Blame is spotting. Just debate with Torres. Poison's on rotation to become an assist with these T's up into A, and he will get rid of 1. Blame to make some money, not wanting to take any risk while he does it. He's going to give up the A site and play retake. Now we'll note we do have a nade on Rush, a nade on Blame, and mollies on both of them. So they're waiting for a bomb plant. This is by design for Cole. Very easy to throw these grenades from this position. There's the molly going over. That's going to force Tabson out of the spot. He can't stick it. He has to go for an open plant, and if he does that, he'll likely get spammed. So it's a lose-lose situation. The fake plant, the grenades will follow. And actually, one of them going out. Here's the second. That will do the killing blow. Goodbye, Tabson. Thanks for playing the round, but you will not be getting that bonus money for Big. Not anytime soon. The Deagles for Keto. Okay, a couple of kills out of nowhere, but this should still not be around.
No, they rush him. They deny that bomb plant money. Complexity very unforgiving here in this round, and let's look at it continue. One thing I will say, Matt, is that like, so you mentioned how for Big, it feels like they need to put up a good T-side start, and that was obviously something that we really didn't get to see from them just the other day versus Mouse Sports on this map. Well, I think as well, like it's worth mentioning that Complexity, they look like, A, they can play the T side very well, but also their CT side versus the Mad Lions was great, was stellar. And, you know, I think for Big, that's what, at least from what we've seen so far, I'm feeling like they're banking on a strong CT side performance. I don't know, man. I really don't know how this is going to stack up. It's a very interesting game.
We are early days, right? And, you know, it may have just been a matchup differential where Big are unable to play against, like, Mouse Sports' style, right? And so, you know, 40 rounds, like it was the first half, they're warming up.
Obviously, right, that whole game was very weird. Like, you had the double messed up run boost, back-to-back rounds. They sacrificed the player early on, right? So, yeah, I think it was like safe to assume that that was a Big playing at 100%. I mean, they did go on to win the match.
That's the crazy part, right?
Yeah.
Like we're talking down on them like they lost it, but it was a 4-round T side, and I don't think I've ever seen, not in this form of Vertigo with current B, I've never seen a team get so little rounds on the T side yet still win it due to their defense. Like, it's great, but can you rely on that? I think is the question we're asking. Yeah, and I think the answer against Complexity is probably no. Yeah,
I think like the data on it was like something like 57 or like 53% of T side rounds are won on this map. Oh, Keto. Well, he's trying to bump up the statistic right now. A nice little dig onto Poison. And now just Blame F is already low. Only a body shot is required, but the aim punch sends the aim of Keto flying. I'd rather aim punch from Blame F than a real punch, though, any day of the week. So there's always
rather get shot than Blame F than punched by Blame F. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't think I want either.
I wouldn't want either, no. Like, you know, but if I had to choose, if someone came to me, Blame F came to me and said, you know, these are your options.
I'm going to shoot you or I'm going to punch you, Harry. And you say, well, shoot me, Blame.
Yeah, that's the one.
But make sure I'm not wearing any Kevlar.
Because it's an honor to find yourself on the receding side of Blame in the server. Only this time around, Santaras is the one bestowing the kills in this round. Big going a man up. Searson taking a peek up through the ramp, trying his best to extend this advantage even further. Complexity, they've got a very heavy stack over towards the top of ramp. And this is the right decision for them to have made, at least with how this round is looking for Big. They've got a lot of presence outside of the A-bomb site. But I will say, with Tizian holding on to B and Keto watching for this this mid play, there's a good chance that this bomb could rotate back round. They've left these options open. They're hoping that someone from Complexity goes on a lurk and like tries to flank in through B or mid, and that's just not going to happen. Complexity, they've gamble stacked this A bomb site, and so if Big keep moving this way, because now they've moved Keto away from the B hold, they're going to be walking into this stack for Complexity here at A.
You know, a mid lurk or something of the source from Tizian could be very impactful here. Flashes up for Cole. They're going to try and get aggressive. Config pushed forward with that utility. He gets nothing from it. Poison, same story, but looking to be a little bit more effective this time. Denied by the Orpheus, and it's Obo to pick up the pieces of this round, and this round is in pieces for Big. Tizian on this lurk that we so often see go unaccounted for, but right now it's everything that Big have, and Complexity are very aware of it. Good grenade will do damage, but nothing significant, and Obo on 3 kills right now is looking for the 4-piece. It might just be around the corner. Tizian should probably save, and he's going to get out of here alive at the very least. Cole give him that, but they will take away another round. 4-0 lead. And that's, you know, crazy from Cole. The fact that they get that trade, right? Poison gets the AWP kill and backs off, and it looks like Cole want to just give the room away to their opponents and just sit back and wait for the execute, play retake maybe, or go back to those nades that worked earlier. But instead they go, nah, let's just push, let's just get aggressive. And a great flashbang. Config goes aggressive, he dies, but Obo follows him, and it was all a bait and switch. Config's drawn in, Obo shuts them all down, and Complexity keep up this flawless CT side. Yet to see a T round for Big, and until we do, I'm going to be continually worried. It was a nice opener for Big, right? Like the fact that Xantares drops a player through this smoke and they even get early control, but denied later on. Big are going to go back to what seemingly worked, which was the A site. They could molly off. Well, they actually can't molly off the sandbags. They have no utility, no HE, no molly. Blame's position is so valuable. They have to manually clear this out. And Blame, if he gets flashed up, he can do so much work here. He's going to wait for contact instead, swinging off for the sounds. And there's one, doubles it down. Not quite. Searson survives. A flashbang from Poison blinds Blame. That's not what you want. It's a team flash that's given away 2 kills. Tabson follows up, and Big have a man advantage on this A site. Finally, this should be their round.
It's one of those horrible moments as well where Poison's like, don't worry, I'll make it up to you. I'll get this trade. Oh, no, wait. Oh, no, it's a 4-on-3. And Big, they've slowed right down. They're not going to commit to A. They walked into the stack here last time around. And once again, Complexity, they've hedged their bets. They've rotated everyone around towards this A side of the map. The bomb has rotated into the bottom of B. And while all this is going on, Poison, Searson still here with this scout, just being a nuisance, just throwing in this fake, and Rush is going to deal with him. It's now a 3-on-3, but they've completely lost the B bomb site, so it's still going to be a very hard round for Complexity to get back into. But that kill onto Tizian out in the open, trying to lurk through mid. That's given them more than a means to get back into it, right? 3-on-3, there was even a world in which Complexity might have just saved, but now they are spurred on. Now they are looking for this. Tabson trying to answer the call, but he's only good for one. It's Keto now alone to finish the work that Tabson so graciously started. And this bomb ticking away. Keto trying to play for the bomb tap, and he does swing out, deals with Oboe. Now just Config left to deal with. And Keto hits the shot. Big get their first round on the board on the back of this big boy B play. And a 3K from Tabson, 2 for Keto. That's the round.
Yeah, I mean, Tizian on these mid-lurks, I want to keep my eye on this T side, right? That previous round, he tries to flank A, his team are all dead, so he's kind of screwed there. That round, you know, his team get B first, and he tries to fight. There's nothing wrong with Tizian playing there, but he gets killed. He misses the shot, and that gives away back into the round for Cole. The safer way to play it for Tizian is just let Cole rotate into B and backstab. I feel like we don't see enough of that in these mid-lurks. Backstabs, that's what they're so effective for, because CTs are often just going to give up that position in mid. They're going to go, yeah, there's nothing mid for 30, 40 seconds. There's probably nothing mid. And so patience can really pay off in a map like Vertigo where you know, CTs are constantly scrambling between sites. And mid is just more of a, you know, filler spot. A place you rotate through that occasionally you'll find enemies at. But not often. And not in this round. Big are grouped up towards A as 5. Or 4 rather. They've lost Searson early. Poison has at least got a scout shot down ramp before he was traded. Finding a tag onto Santares as well. Look at how low he is. So this is not a safe round for Big, but they do at least go about their business, mollying the sandbags, making sure Cole aren't aggressive, and A-site smokes coming through as well to set up this bomb plant. Let's see if Complexity allow it.
Rush has been good over at short. This time he's only got the MP9. That molly's well timed to force a player forward, but all it does is bring the beast to Rush. Tabson, they forced him into this site, and they thought that he was trapped in here with them, but it turns out they're trapped in here with him. Config trying to deny this bomb plant, not able to find the connecting shot, and so this should be the round for Big. There should be a second on the board. He's going to find Santares. All right, maybe we spoke too soon. Tabson gets tagged there by a Deagle. Still an M4 on Oboe as well. The flash is great, though, and Tabson is hunting these kills down. Oboe does recover and does get that trade. Tizian on the line. And Oboe pressuring him. Now it only falls onto Keto. Someone's got to get on this bomb, and they've got to get on it now. Keto needs this clutch, and he finds the first man. Oboe's off the bomb, and Keto's going to keep it under wraps. Once again, a 1v2 from this man. Back-to-back rounds now to find 2 on the board for Big.
Oh, that's such a heartbreaking one for Oboe specifically, and just everyone on Cole, right? Oboe gets away with 3 kills there. The fact that Tabson's like chasing him with the spray, Oboe waits it out, re-peeks on the reload, gets 3, and at that point, the time is low. They don't have a kit, they don't have a smoke. Someone has to stick it. Oboe's the closest, so he jumps right on it. He lets Config try and win the one-on-one. If Config hits that shot, Cole win the round, but he doesn't, gets killed by the AK, and with that, Big just close it out. Nice eco regardless, or at least low economy round for Cole, but now, well, this is a really low economy round, maybe even an eco, as it's full USPs with a Zeus on Oboe, and a 5-man B setup for Cole. Big are working their way up A with a bomb, and so this is no longer a worry for them. I mean, not that they're even aware of it. Not yet, at least. They're about to be. Once clearing out A, that will give all the info for Big that Collar, full 5-man stacked up on B, and Searson should be able to make an absolute mockery of these armorless USPs. This is how you afford the orb, ladies and gents.
Yeah, let's get it. Searson, make that money. Well, $1,200. That's okay. He was hoping to make a little bit more there, but the USPs do overwhelm him. Rest of Big, they decide they want their piece of money as well. Tabson's hunting it down, and he wants $1,200 for himself. Now, Poison, I like this. This is gross, but Zeus is fickle, and it doesn't work out for him. Ooh, Blame. Just looking away. He'd love this kill, because if he gets it, he gets out of the round with an AK, and he makes $600. But man, Zantares is fast. All right, yep, that doesn't happen. Big, 3 on the board now.
This is already looking like a better T-side for Big, right? Not just fully focused.
I mean, it
on
already almost is a better T-side for Big.
That is true. That is true. But yeah, I mean, not just in rounds, but just in how they're playing it. Just a far more safe T-side. Big, going about the motions, grouping up. Yeah, not overplaying their hand A.
I didn't know, like, you know, in that series, like when we saw Big versus Mouse Sports and they like messed the run boosts up early on, I didn't know how much that would play into the game.
But
now looking back at it in hindsight, it does feel like maybe they got a little bit frazzled on the back of that, right?
Yeah, I think even they were maybe, I don't want to use the word overconfident. He says he uses the word overconfident, but maybe they thought it would be easier than you know, they assumed. I mean, again, all of this is funny because they won the map, so it's not a worry, but it's the T side that we're talking about. That's always been the issue, and Big looking to come up with solutions here on this A site. This is a full buy round for both teams. The Orb doesn't have armor. Tabson's on a Mac 10. There are definitely holes in either side's buy. No kits for the retake, so Poison has to fight for his death here, and he's going to get 2 before he falls. The bomb's been dropped. Zantares follows up. Poison will drop the Orb. The lack of armor really proved to be a problem. Poison's up to the ace right now, and there's no one that can stop him. Maybe Keita can be that man, but he's being very loud, running up the ramp, and Config will close it, stealing the ace, but it's not a worry. Poison, can he find the Orb? Yes, that's an upgrade as well, and Complexity back on the board, back in with 5.
And something that I do love about this Complexity crew is that they always seem to have an answer for whatever problems are being thrown their way. And, you know, it might sometimes take them a round or so to figure out, but they're very, very quick at problem solving. And, you know, I think a lot of that is just going to be residing with Mr. Blame F. He's been, like, one of the best diamond in the rough pickups, I think.
Yeah.
In CS in recent memory. Like, he's been excellent.
Yeah, the fact that, you know, not only is he leading against tier 1, or has led and can lead against tier 1 opposition, but he can perform behind that. Like, that's how many players can put up the performance that Blame consistently shows in the server while leading a bunch of people like this, you know? Yeah, credit where credit is due. Complexity have quite the roster, but right now that roster is getting torn to pieces. 2 down in this round, relying on the Orb, Poison, and Russian Blame. Full stacked on A. Big, they got kills on both sides of the map, and they are going to come back towards this A site. Actually, sorry, both kills are B. So, you know, expecting Complexity are going to gamble stack, that's the wrong read. Complexity come back to this site, but a missed shot will cause disaster, and those kills just keep on coming for Big. 2 from Keto. Blame's giving away his position. He's here to stay, but, well, the grenade will trade, but Keto gets away with 4 before that point. Big also up to 4. This is all the rounds they got on their T side against Mousesports in a game that they won off their CT defense. So Complexity's work is cut out for them here in this first half. Although I will say, it did seem like Mousesports had real troubles on their T side as well, right? Like, you know, it wasn't just Big having a 6 CT side. Mousesports bottled a few crucial rounds, I'm sure you remember, with those like A executes, with Carrigan planting in the smoke and getting spammed, you know, back-to-back rounds, Rops flanking, unable to do it. Yeah, so there's that to keep in mind. I don't think Complexity are going to be, you know, making those same mistakes. But that's why this game is so exciting. This game is so competitive. And after a double OT back on Mirage, we're neck and neck here and now. Big looking to find 5. There shouldn't be much to stop them from doing that. Complexity just have a Deeg and a flash on Oboe. But look at the bomb.
Yeah, this stack might never see the light of day. Wow, man, like it's a new era of peace in the server. B side belongs to Big, and the A side belongs to Complexity. These are the terms of the agreement. And Big, they're pretty happy with it. You know, they're like staying true to the terms. They're keeping this B site under wraps. They're loving life. They've got their bit of territory. But oh dear, here come Complexity. They're not content with it. They're trying to sneak back in. However, this should just be a real slaughter over here in CT spawn. All these pistols grouped on up. And they're hoping that players come to them. And Big just aren't going to take this risk. They want to build up money. They're planning for the future. They're not playing for KD. Oh, Searson, how many can you get with one shot? 0 on the first. Lots of players flooding in. And Keto here padding these stats out. That's 2 for Keto, 1 for Searson. They do deal with one of these players, but that should be all said and done. And indeed it is. Searson with 3, Keto on a double, and a 5th round for Big. But only up against the pistols, and now it gets exciting again. The reinvestment coming through for Complexity. It's going to be lacking the AWP over here on this CT side, but Poison's look good on the M4, honestly. He's been holding down this A site with it. I think as well, like, not going for these early ramp picks as you just denied Searson much action on the AWP. So actually, I don't think that's as big as a blow as it might necessarily feel to Complexity.
Yeah, I'd love to see Poison get the AWP and get the chance to fight aggressively back in that position, though, so hopefully that will come soon. Obviously, the money will dictate that, and whether he can save Searson's AWP potentially or not. Stalemate right now. Tizian's holding mid, 0-6. Cole have double set up in this position. They like to do this occasionally. Rush and config with a boost up. And a essentially bait and switch in middle, but they're going to start to push and prod. This could be well timed. That molly lands in scaffolding. Flame has actually gone ahead of it as well. We have a 3-man mid play here for Cole and Tizian. This is his time. This is his moment. He's dropped the first. There's no follow-up. There's no trade. They let him get away with that one. There's a flash up. Config looks into middle, but at that point, Tizian's left, and they're already setting their eyes on A. So Taurus has found that opening kill. Config's flank is coming through, but at this point, Big are moving into that A bomb site.
Yeah, Config's trying to come around on this wrap, but is he even going to be able to find anything? Tizian is actually holding B and could shut down both these players on this flank. They're not ready for him. They're not aware. Blame is keeping his eye on this position, and Tizian actually not able to get that kill, but a 3-on-4 with 2 players spotted on the flank. This round is written off straight away.
Yeah, it's the right call to make, definitely, right? Like, that gives away the fact that you're behind them. Big don't know that before that kill, but now everyone will be looking at ramp, including that AWP, and Complexity, if they can get away with 3, you know, that's a decent amount of weaponry. I would say they can buy around it, and I mean, they can, you know, the loss bonus is going to give money for these 3 to drop guns over to the 2 that didn't survive, but yeah, you're going to get max 1 more M4 unless you want to play FAMAS or SMG, and so it might be tempting for Complexity to just eco, and next round they'll have everything, including the AWP, full rifles, full util, kits as well. I think, in my opinion, that's a safer call than buying up here.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is actually mind-blowing, isn't it?
Makes you feel old.
Man. It's nuts that Obo is like so, and you can tell, like, just when you watch him, like, just how smart he is in the game. That's why, like, during Pro League, I accidentally called him the NA Zipex. But, like, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. He's just got such a cool head on his shoulders. And for such a young player, that's a really good look, I think.
Very calm. That can be hard, right? You know, this game's stressful, man. Like, when you're winning, when you're losing, just when you're playing, you know, it can be... get your heart racing.
Yeah, you know, like when you're playing well, you got always that pressure to always be playing well. When you're getting wrecked, you got the pressure that you're getting wrecked, and you're like, oh, you know, I don't even know, like, when the feel-good feeling comes in.
I really wonder something I've not asked any pros ever, and I feel like I need to next time I speak to them, is do
that a lot, right?
Yeah, do their hearts, I mean, I actually know pros by first.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if you knew this. Do people's hearts still beat as much in the clutch after years of playing this? Because for me, like, I'll be playing a matchmaking game, man, and I'll be in a 1-on-3, and my heart will be beating. Does that happen on the world stage? I would only assume it gets worse, right? Because there's way more pressure, there's way more stakes. But then, you know, these guys do this every day, so it's just a day in the office. You know, people don't get sweaty when they're typing out spreadsheets in their cubicle. So what's it like for these guys? I don't know. But back to the action anyway. It's a bit of an A play for Big. The boost denied, and Blame's got to run.
Yeah, now that you've spotted the boost, it's very tempting for Xantares to just swing on out from short and catch them in this position. Flashback through for Blame F, but he's only presented with 1 kill, and Tizian in with the response. The man advantage taken for Big. No utility to rain on down into this plant spot, but Keto actually will get wallbanged out of the round. However, Tabson holding the line, puts up a double and leaves it all onto Obo in a 1v3. Now, 2 of these players are very, very low. This nade that's in Obo's hands could be lethal. Goes out towards his sandbags, at least going to give him the kind of knowledge that that area is now likely clear. But with half the time ticked off this bomb, Obo, I don't even think he's going for this anymore. No kills have presented themselves. The bomb is planted out in the open. Everything is stacked against him, and he knows it.
Yeah. The reason he hangs around is because Cole had the money, right? They ecoed this one around those saved guns. So he knows he can buy whether he lives or dies. So, you know, living is obviously better. It means you can spend less money, save some for later, even drop that orb if you want Poison to have util behind it. But we'll see what the decision is from Cole. Big are building into this T side right now, looking to take us to a 3rd map. Certainly attainable in this best of 3 series. That 3rd final map is Dust 2 if we get there. Good middle ground map between both of these teams. One that, if I were Cole, I would be very scared of, you know, having to reach, because Dust 2 yesterday, big. 16-2 over Mousesports on that very map, so terrifying scenes, at least for Complexity. Still with a chance of 2-0ing though, only down by 2 in this one. Double orb, in fact, in play, and one of them in mid, the other on A. But a solo B setup. Oh, look, it's Obo once again. Is this going to be a problem for Big as Complexity lean heavily towards that A bomb site early? Obo, he is going to be the early warning system, but it isn't much of a warning because Big, they've got 5 players ready to burst as soon as they kill him.
Yeah, the nade is good, but Obo's given up his position with this spam. He's anticipating they might have tried to boost on up. Now, Keto tries to stare away from the flash, and in doing so, Obo does get a kill before he's traded. So now a 4-on-4. There is still a chance for Complexity, despite this B site looking like it might waver here as the site take comes on through. I think they've kind of pumped the brakes. They've slowed down a bit, and this has given a lot of time for Complexity to get ready and get players into this site, and Config being one of them, holding the line down with this orb, puts up another. Config coming alive, and a player up on top of the box. Oh! Config, no scope through the smoke, quick as you like. Searson all alone, and Config trying to best him. It is going to get beaten to the punch by Rush, but still a stellar hold from Config on this secondary orb. And I tell you what, man, we see him buying this orb quite a lot alongside Poison. It's great for them to try and like slot a little gimmicky round in the side. Up until now, I haven't really seen much from Config on this second orb that I felt like, yeah, man, I really love seeing him on it. But that round there, he comes alive and he looks so comfortable taking those head-to-heads. He breaks up every fight. It's just a series of 1v1s. There was never a chance at a trade if you're Big. You just needed to win the gunfight straight up. And it never happened. So now it's back to the drawing board for the big boys.
That B site can so often just get turned into, you know, like a smoke wall, a smoke dungeon, just covered and nowhere to see if you're a T trying to get into the bomb site. So Complexity just hide behind the walls, the gens, the smoke, the pillars. A lot more cover for CTs there. Ollie into middle, that's going to force Config off. Posting up in CT instead. That's where Poison sits with his AWP as well, elevator side. This double AWP in mid is going to be a great combo for Cole, especially considering Big have heavy mid control with the bomb here as well. So Cole can afford to dedicate 2 here. They've got Obo alone on B. They've got a double A setup. Things are looking okay right now for Complexity. Big missed that pop flash, but more utility to follow. They can smoke off Config, and in fact, he's already begun his rotation back towards B right now with Keto getting spotted down lower. Big are going to throw their nades mid. They will leave. Xantares flashed up towards A, trying to cause a bit of a ruckus, and I'm still unsure where that bomb is going. It likely looks like he wants to join this A play. Keto has abandoned B as well. And Rush is re-aggressing. This could be a problem for Big. He's dropped Xantares, regaining the short control as Big set up for the execute. They have only 25 seconds left, and they don't own short. There's 2 CTs here, and they're trying to gain information. They're getting more than that. They're getting the kills as well. Rush with a double, so they surely won't expect blame from the same spot.
Right here, right now, Blame putting up a kill, and now Keto left in this one alone. 5 seconds, it's not going to happen. Sorry to say it, Keto. Giving it a nice attempt here.
Yeah.
And was that after time? It was on 0.
It was after time.
Oof.
Not what you want if you're Keto. I love that double short setup. Good information play from Rush, right? He gets aggressive at the perfect point. That was such a risk from Rush. Like, there's a world he dies to Santares there on the first peak, and Big, with that entry, they just double down, they rush A, and they win the round, but it doesn't go that way. He doubles up, he sets up a blame, and it's the element of surprise that puts Complexity on 7. Who will be winning this half, though? That's the question. This has been a good T-side from Big, but putting 8 on will really be, you know, the cherry on top, the icing on the cake. But you can't have it and eat it, Harry. So, Complexity are going to look to steal it away this last round. Deagle on Keto, limited utility again for Big, means they can't throw in too much of a fake here.
Yeah, but this is a round where Complexity, they've actually leaned away from this A-bomb site. They've got one man here in the form of Poison, and he's lying in wait with the AWP over it short. There is an early preemptive rotation around from Rush, and grouping up in mid, Complexity now hearing the utility going on in, now become aware of what's afoot. Keto opening up with a... What? What? That is... No. Keto's Deagle has been unreasonably good in this series, and oh my goodness, he even follows up with it. Does Keto see smokes? Are they there for him? I don't know anymore, because he keeps on doing disgusting stuff like this. Obo and Blame, last 2 left alive, and Keto is just taking this round by storm. Obo, he's running into CT, not looking to save, obviously. Last round of the first half, so he's trying it, but this is not doable. This is not happening. It's Big, winning out the half, narrowly so, 8-7. This second map is as close as they come. You're going to have to join us for the conclusion of Vertigo after a quick break, so stick around.
You're the roast of my beef, the mash to my potato, the extra cheese on my burrito. You're the cream of the cream on my sweet little thing. You're the dish of the day, now where do I begin? You're the butter on my muffin, I'm the chicken, you're the stuffing. If you scramble all my eggs, then I'll end up with nothing. You're the burger in my bun, the tingle on my tongue. You're the wobble in my jelly, my tasty number 1. My mouth begins to water every time that you walk by. There's a rumble in my belly when you serve another guy. The hunger that I'm feeling, it just won't die away till I've gone and got myself the dish of the day. Yeah. You're the cherry on the top, the chocolate of my life. You're the icing on the cake, you're the sweet wine on the grape. You're the cream of the cream, my sweet little thing. You're the dish of the day, I wanna dig right in. Hubba, 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 hubba. My mouth begins to water every time that you walk by. There's a rumble in my belly when you serve another guy. The hunger that I'm feeling, it just won't die away until I've gone and got myself the dish of the day. Yeah. I'm the coffee, you're the cream. I'm the spoon that you lick clean. I'm the cognac, you're the sherry, or maybe a Bloody Mary. You're the cream and the cream, my sweet little thing. You're the dish of the day, I wanna dig right in. Pumpkin pie, ice cream, chocolate brownie, malt milkshake, fried chicken, coated peanuts, fish jam, tender spam, taco pizza, mash and ham, meatloaf, minestrone in a can, collard green and aubergines, escargot and runner beans. Congratulations on your brand
Oh my, what a game. Like, look, okay, no. You're not ready. You're not ready. You weren't ready for those 2 Deagle kills that Keto just bestowed upon us there to round out the half in favor of Big. And I tell you who else weren't ready? Complexity. They weren't ready. But are they going to be ready to respond in this second half? Betway certainly seems to think so. These guys have a pretty cool head on their shoulders. So let's see if they're right on this one.
They've had their fair share of correct predictions, have Betway, but this one is certainly going to be a question mark with Big on this CT side. Where does this team remain? What do they have for us? They had an excellent CT half against Mousesports yesterday, pulling them over the line 16-14, but are Complexity going to let the ball drop here? We're a map up in this series. This is Big's pick, but it's instant Glock kills. Cole, fake A, they run right back through T-spawn, and Big try and fast flank. They get denied on it, and now everyone getting picked up. There's still 2 more Ts on this A side. They're just trying to win the round off of kills here, and why not bring the bomb back towards A? You get in the kills, you get in the round, the bomb's going all the way over the map, but it's not a problem. It's an 8 for Complexity. They're going to pick it up. They run A, they run B, they run back A.
I like that. They just go to where the fights are. They're like,
oh, they're A? Let's come then. Let's take them down. Forget bot.
I like that, man. It's like the polar opposite leadership that you're used to seeing, right? Oh, last 2 guys A, right? Let's really draw this out. Go B, play it safe. Nah, man. Blame F is like, right, config. You go do you, man. I trust you. Nades up towards ramp, and Searson didn't mean to, but he falls into the direct line of that nade. That is him just cancelled out of the round immediately with this scout.
It's not the start you wanted for Big, or at least not for Searson. Down to 15 points of health. A single bullet will finish his life in this round. And there's a lot of bullets on the other side. Complexity walking up. Nice shot. Searson, man. How does he so easily replicate these headshots with that gun, man? He's clicking before I'm even seeing the T's, and I have X-ray. But Complexity, they'll take it. Or Big Run, they'll take it. Man up in a round that they really shouldn't be winning, but now have a very good chance of doing so, considering this is forced Deagles and an A stack with Complexity being very clear about where they're going, not really leaving much to the imagination. So Big are able to just pick fights, boost up, take another kill. The grenade is good, but it's still a man down for Cole, even with that trade. And the scout's been picked up by Tabson on the boost. More nades, more damage, but no more kills for Cole. And do they want to commit here into what is undoubtedly a full Big setup?
Yeah, they look like they want to try and run the gauntlet. They look like they want to try and go for this. And this might be a decision that Complexity come to regret, because there is this very heavy presence at the A site. They haven't left themselves with a lot of time. Complexity, they haven't given themselves the easy route back into this round. They're trying to go about it the tricky way. And this nade on Keto with config, oh no, that's it. This could be the round. Oh dear, the nade actually double kills. Keto has won the round. Blame F is the last man remaining, and it will stay that way. Big, they steal this one away from Complexity. Now, I love that round from Big, right? Hugo, a phrase that I've been saying a lot in our little matchmaking games right now is that,
here it comes.
You know, you just got to play to get 1 kill. That's all you need. And what I mean by that is, you know, there's 2 ways that you can kind of approach around. You often have guys trying to make big plays, and especially on these force buys, it can feel pretty tempting to do that if you're Big, right? You just try and set up to take down as many players as you can. But in that round there, Big, they just do every little gimmick in the book, right? They do a short side boost. They have Searson nailing one down ramp, and every player is just playing to strip one from the ranks of Complexity and then set up in the man advantage for the retake.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the way they play that. There was no overextension. Everyone is just taking fights in positions where it's pretty low risk. The only kind of risk that was taken by Searson early on in the round, and it was a great risk to take. He got naded down to 15 points of health, and yet he still gets usage out of the scout before he goes down.
Well, Cole are getting a taste of their own medicine, Harry. After picking up a pistol here, they have been forced upon by Big. Now, that's something they did twice back on Mirage. Too Big. So yeah, how's that feel, Cole? Not so good after all, does it? The Eagles on the other side, Galil getting gifted to poison as Blame gets tagged early. Keto's going to drop the smoke at the top of the stairs if he can get time to do so. It's actually going to go a bit deep, and so the T's will just flood through it regardless. Keto on the site, good spray, but he's down to 2. Surely no more than 1. Luckily, he's got support, and the mow down from Keto. The grenade certainly helps. Tabson gets a double in the mix, and it's going to be Big finding that anti-force. This is going to push them over the line, Harry. Now, a full eco round for Complexity. Big, this has got 11 rounds written all over it before Complexity even have guns back in their hands. And so Big, well, they've got to be feeling pretty good right about now.
Complexity might just look to get this one over and done with. Oh, I like this, right? They all run over here towards the A ramp. Smoke goes down, and now they maybe look to sneak on back. They make a lot of noise with players crossing over the grate, and that's very loud, very audible, and that's meant that Big have stacked a lot of players over here towards the A bomb site. Now, Complexity, they do actually go back once this utility fades. I was wondering if we were going to see them maybe try and commit into this B site, and I understand why they're not, right? Like, I think B, when you've only got Glocks, you're going to struggle to do anything just because you can get bogged down on ramp. And here, it's a bit of the same, but you at least have a few more angles to try and work with. You've got a bit more room, a bit more spacing than the grind up through the B ramp. They get this one kill. Might not mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, though, for Complexity. Obviously, it's only Glocks in this round, so anything they get is great, but the nades have been stellar from Big. Even if you think about how they won the force buy, it was a double nade kill from Keto to secure the round. Now, Config, come on, man. Don't do it with a Glock. Don't do him like this. He's got to dink off and going back in for a bit more. Ooh, Config, no. Come on, man. It's a vanilla pistol, and oh, he does a lot of damage before they deal with him. Not able to find much more on the back of the kill that they steal. And Big still pulling away right now in the lead, 11-8. But here comes the reinvestment from Complexity, and we can see there's almost a little smile on Obo's face there for a moment. So they've got something special planned for us in this round.
Yeah, whatever Complexity have, it needs to be a big one because you're not going to have many opportunities left here if you don't win this rifle round. Big are just a few away from pushing it over the line. Cole, fast B play early. There's only one man here. Now, this isn't a commitment. They've only got 3 players in the B area, and they're not exactly committing to anything. They're just trying to draw rotations from Big early, see if we can get some favorable fights. Keto blocked by the pillar. Could have been a problem. Luckily, no one there to stop him. Cole going to leave B with the bomb, walk elsewhere. Worth noting, Xantares, he's pushed all the way down ramp right now, and that is a value, high value to Big here. It's cleared out a lot of info. He realizes, though, his teammate, the call, B's quiet, no one's pushing, and so Xantares is aware that they might be coming back towards A, and he doesn't want to be stuck in a position like last round where he can only get 1 or 2 kills before he dies. He wants to be in this for the long haul, so bails out safely, falls back towards A, and tries to assist in middle where Complexity are also taking. Tizian looking for the little pixel angle. Xantares is trying to bait them in from the back of middle. Cole only smokes it. They can throw in the wall, they can throw in an execute, but they've still got to get past these fights.
Ooh, and they actually are all going in favor of Big right now. Xantares just comes alive, and suddenly what was meant to be a B split is just a 2-man push up the ramp. A nice little impromptu boost thrown on in. And Blame F and Obo have at least brought this back into a doable realm. Blame all alone, tries to get up for a view on top of the box. Now, bear in mind, Tabson, sneaky little Tabson down at ramp. He's going to blindside Blame F and secure the round for Big. 12-8, no money in these Complexity bank accounts, and this CT side from Big is stacking up very, very well right now against the Complexity squad. They're in full control of the money. Blame F has stuck a lot into this round. The rest of the gang going to be investing around him. Now, loss bonus almost maxing out for Complexity.
Yeah, this will be the round. So there's that at least for Cole, but yeah, no rounds behind it. Not since the pistol, at least. The Force and Big have not stopped since that point. Xantares, he's back to ramp and he's back with a vengeance. Looking to fight as they pop through the smoke. He's blind. He only gets 1 again. Xantares dropped and a gun given over to a round where Complexity have armor. So that is a big value. And they might just stop at pull the brakes here and stop and wait for Obo to work this rifle, try and look for a kill. If he can get one, that would put Cole in a far better spot. But they're just going to fully execute, commit as a unit, use these pistols together as they try and chase the site. Tabson goes wide, he drops a bomb, but Blame from short does get the response. The bomb yet to be picked up, and Big are really fighting for this. Almost through the smoke was that shot, but it will go above. Sismal's waiting for a guaranteed kill, and that he gets. Blame dropping back with a fake plant from Poison. It's not going to force anything out. The swing and the miss. Oh no, the right click from Poison. He tries to take the silencer off and he gets killed in the sight. Blame. He has a chance.
They shot a gun over to him by mistake, and somehow Blame, he's like telekinetically bought this M4 over to give himself the best chance in this clutch. A 1v2. 20 bullets left in the mag, and a player pushing up through short, but that is Keto on 2 points of health, so he might be a bit reserved in this push. He's just floating around and holding the position. Blame trying to go wide, and Searson attempting to peek through this smoke. They're both looking for an angle, and Blame is the man to find it. One shot is all that's required to deal with Keto. He's pushed onto short side and is now wrapping ramp, and this is something that Blame won't be ready for. Keto was last seen back in A, but he's dropped. Blame's heard the noise. He's hunting for the kill, and he needs it. 5 seconds. Blame, he's not there. Oh no, there's no time. Keto might even get him after time, and a nice attempt from Blame F, but not quite. Oh, that's such a shame. I thought he had it. I thought he had it dead to rights, but I think, he just believed that on the back here in the player drop, Keto had ran for the hills, heard him hunting, and that was not the case. That was such a winnable round.
Yeah, for Poison as well, right? He pulls off the side. He takes off the silencer when he gets peeked. Like, that's an AWPer right there. Like muscle memory, trying to click that scope.
Something else that's so heartbreaking about that is that Poison fakes the bomb plant 3 times. And the reason is because he's trying to wait for that utility that's denied them plants prior to come on in. There's the collateral in this round for Searson. Quick trade and response. Now a bit of mid-control taken, but Poison gets lit up by Keto on this rotation in from B. Bomb out in mid does get retrieved by Blame F. And as I was saying, think about how different, because there was no utility for Big, where Poison's faking those bomb plants, and obviously he's not to know that. It's a very smart decision to be making. It's heartbreaking though, with us knowing all the information, with us knowing the reality of how close that round was. And if that bomb plant did come in, I think Complexity take that round, but not to be. And Big answering the call once again. 4-on-2. They have stepped up massively here on this CT side. They're trying to take us the distance, and it's looking real good that we're going to get there.
CT side has been everything we wanted and more from Big. Obo, good entry into B. He's going to check the back of the site. There's still a chance. A 2-on-2 from a 2-on-4. Complexity making this one interesting. That's a good grenade from Xantares. A molly will follow, but Obo plants before it spreads. Got a chance to move on the site as well. Tizian's on this flank, but 5 kills to his name, and he's versus Blame. That's not an easy engagement. Obo spotted the player up deep. Xantares drops off the top, and Blame gets mollied out. Great work from Tizian. Finds a safe 14th round here for Big off the back of that utility, and there's nothing Cole can do about it. 14-8. A flawless T-side from Big ever since losing the pistol round, and yeah, this has just been excellent. Maybe money for Cole. There may be a chance to buy up into these last couple of rounds, but there's nothing to suggest that things are going to change here. No T-sided rifle rounds have gone their way. That certainly doesn't help either. Searson getting a collateral in middle to start the round.
It's really weird, man. It feels like Complexity of just eating a bunch of magnets before this map, because it just feels like every shot that would connect in the most spectacular way for Big is connecting. And in this round, Xantares, no exception. He wants to get stuck in a little bit more. He's found a double with it. He's dropped the bomb out here on ramp. Tabson now stepping up to the mark as well. And this is a great start from Big. They are just not giving Complexity any room to maneuver. They are really laying down the pain, laying down the dominance, and it's so assertive, so much control being taken by Big. And in this round, Config burns out to the Molotov, tagged as he tries to cross. Poison all alone, and he walks into the stack. Map point for Big, one away from taking us to a third. Of course, Dust 2 loaded, ready to go in the chamber.
And Cole, they love Dust. They've always loved Dust. That's not a worry. But what is a worry is how good Big have looked on that map as of late. Even yesterday versus Mouseboards. Even though Mouseboards have been underwhelming in the last few months, or weeks really, 16-2 on that map is just shockingly good for Big. So, Complexity, it's not an easy third map to this series. And they are almost definitely going to get there, it seems. 1 round away from it. Complexity have to get 7 in a row, and that's just to start the clock again. Flashes into middle. They're going to go fast as well. Mac 10's leading the charge. The grenade will miss for Tizian, but it's not a worry. Complexity is still going to try and commit to this mid-take with a deep smoke towards elevators. Antares drops one of his own to try and fight past Tizian. I like this angle as well, just trying to watch the back CT flank while players enter the site, and he won't let them in. Although Tabson drops Obo and does trade it. That's a weird one. Obo gets up the stairs with 2 players in B. No one deals with him, and there's no way Tizian should be dying there. But now let's give it a chance for Cole to go A. They don't realize there's a triple B setup though, and Keto has already begun his rotation. Look what he's found on the way.
Yeah, betrayed by the barrel. Blame F left all alone. Does drop the first man. And Tabson actually has left this B side of the map, playing down at ramp now. Blame knows that there was a second man here. He's planted, taps it out in the open. Tabson not peeking right away, and Blame, he's still got time to play with. Still has more than enough time on this clock. He's even looking in towards mid, and he's scratching his head because Tabson's disappeared. He might be anticipating that there's a double stack at the B bomb site, so making the decision to go towards A. And this could make or break this round. It's how much time he leaves himself with is really the deciding factor here. If he's got time to clear this site and maybe deal with Searson, then there's a chance. But if he just has to rush in the final 5 seconds, yeah. Oh, what a missed shot. And now there is a chance. Bomb plant found. Blame F, quick readjustment, and a missed shot from Searson. Uncharacteristically so. Maybe Blame can keep the dream alive for Complexity here on this map. 2 kills to his name. He needs the hat trick. He's pushing into CT, and he's ready for Tabson. A 9th on the board, and Blame F will deliver it. Complexity carry on here on Vertigo. And it's all on the back of some heavy lifting from Blame F.
Yeah, he starts sprinting as soon as he gets into Searson's crosshair. Searson sees nothing, he hears nothing, and then suddenly Blame, sprinting towards him like a tank, jumps into the site. Like, I cannot blame Searson for missing that shot there. Out in the open, though, no way to react, gets killed, and Blame shuts down the round. Now, it's not like Complexity have won the game off that, but they have at least kept themselves in it for now, denying Big the closer, at least for another couple, you would think, right? Big probably shouldn't win this round. I'm not going to say they probably won't, because I've made that mistake before. But they aren't invested fully. Deagles and Scouts. So Cole definitely armed better, even though there's a bit of miss as well. Moving up towards A with this 1 AK. Winning that round in a one-on-one is certainly, you know, not good for Cole's economy, right? Like, obviously it's better than losing the round, but they would have much rather had players alive, because that's why things are so expensive right now. Only Blame saves his gun. Poison dropped the orb, actually, by the save, I'd imagine. Killed Searson on the site. Rush is ready to burst. We've got 5 players here for Cole, and 3 players from Big to meet them.
Spam damage connecting early on, and Poison actually getting tagged in amongst it all. Here comes the play. Rush with this Mac-10 needs to churn up some heads. Well, what do you know? He's churned up some heads on the push. Config helping out. And this 10th round looking inevitable now. I say that. Keto's still alive with the Deagle. So let's... Keto's no longer alive with the Deagle. Does get one with the nade in his parting breath. Tizian going to try and deny the plant. Goes through, and they're already holding the angle. Config ready and waiting for it. So a 10th on the board for Complexity. They need 5 in a row on top of the 2 that they've already got. So 7 total to tie this one up and take us to overtime.
You know, it is doable. That's the crazy thing. This is very winnable for Cole. Obviously, it's going to be a real grind, but if there were any team to be able to do it, it feels like they're still believing. We saw in those camera shots after Blame went at 1-on-2, you know, they're 6 rounds behind, but they still look positive. They still look like they, you know, are going to try and push us over the line. And with this round again from Big, another low economy one, right? They've got the grenades, they've got pistols and armor. No kit. I would have loved a kit this round. Perfect round for it, in my opinion. But luckily, Cole, they're going to kill them all before this plant comes anyway, or at least try to. Fights towards Ace, and Taurus gets away. He won't rid the rifle of the round. He won't steal it from the hands of Complexity, but it is actually left at A ramp, and Complexity, well, they've left A ramp. They've run right towards B. Good call from Obo, because no one's here, and he's just running in, beating Tizian to the punch. Furthest he can get his gens before he gets spotted. Even then, that's optimistic, but a big kill from Tizian keeps Big in this round.
Config could do it all, though. He's the man has this round in the palm of his hands and peeking out through the construction. He's dealt with ones, and Tara's still here. And Poison getting picked up. Oh dear. Luckily enough, they do deal with that threat. They get rid of the man in the back line. Searson doesn't fare well past that initial kill. And so for Xantares, he's going to try and hold on to this AK. Big, they're not worried yet. They've still got rounds to play with. They've still got room here to close this game out. Slowly but surely, Complexity grinding their way back into this one. It is just the one worry in my mind, is that all it takes is either one little mistake, a couple of chance deeks from a guy like Keto, maybe an opening kill from a man like Searson on the AWP, and this could all just fall apart for Complexity, right? They need to be flawless here. This has to be better than ever before if they want to get this 4 on the board.
And you know Big's game plan is going to be interesting in this round, right? They just double ecoed. They didn't really need to. They could have full ecoed the first and probably bought in the second, but they wanted everything and they wanted chances to get there with pistols. So the AWP is out for Searson. Kits, util, everything for Big. This is the best round they're going to have, or the best chance they're going to have to shut this out before it becomes a real problem. With every round that Complexity win, it's not like a 2-for-1, right? Especially not against such a good Deagle team such as Big. But, you know, with every round that you win, every rifle round that you win in this position against CTs, you put them on eco. And so Cole only need 2 or 3 rifle rounds, depending on how big spare their investments here. Out of the 4 rounds left to get to OT. So this is more than doable for Cole. But this rifle round, this one buy from Big, could put a stop to it before it even starts.
Yeah, there's a lot of B presence from Big right now, and that's going to change because Keto has pushed down the extremities of ramp and actually decides to go back because a lot of utilities come in towards this A site. So he sets up passive. He's not looking to come in on a lurk, and instead will just play the rotation. The other guys that were at B with him are now inside of this A site. So Complexity, their timing to hit a weakened A bomb site is now out the window. And they're going to be walking into this stack once again.
Or not. They're walking away. That bomb is leaving A as this util goes up. There's 3 players sending a fake, but that's through the smoke. Oh no. What a way for this map to fall apart. Cole about to fake the A site with a B execute. That site is empty, but they've lost everyone on A. And now Big have realized, yeah, Cole do have B, but they should have 4 or 5 alive. That's not the case. Smoke spam from Tabson may have just closed out this map, and Cole in a 2-on-5 with a delayed bomb plant from Rush. Oh dear, good luck.
Yeah, they're going to try and play an aggressive crossfire because at this point in time, you don't really have many more options, right? You either play for the clutch and hope that they go slow, and why would Big go slow? They rush into the site. Now, no one's ready for Blame, but yeah, he's not going to be able to do that. He would have to spray down all 5 in one burst, and it doesn't happen. Big, they'll get the defuse. They take Vertigo. They get it under their wing, and they lock in Dust 2 as this 3rd and final map in this series. There's a lot on the line for these 2 teams. They're playing to top the group right now, and either one of them is showing up to be a worthy candidate in the server.
Yeah, I mean, Keto, what a performance from him, right? He's not often the guy at the top of the scoreboard in the Vertigo games, but man, he showed up today. All those Deagle shots, all those Deagle kills, winning big ecos left, right, and center. 8 multi-kills on the map. Keto looks damn good. Blame, he's top of his board, but only at 20, and no one else really rivaling that. Like, the kill distribution is close from Complexity, but they can't, unfortunately, get it over the line on their T side. It will have to be decided on Dust 2, the end of this series, and Big, they've got to be feeling good now. They went down on Cole's map pick, but they bounced back and brought it to a 3rd. Join us after the break for this 3rd map of the series.